Dive, the GoBot is ready for some submarine blasting action with today's game, Polaris, for your Atari 2600. And this copy has its prongs inside broken off, probably because it wouldn't fit an Atari 7800 otherwise, so the previous owner may have had a 7800. So let's go ahead and take this Polaris, pop it in my 7800 since it will fit, and see how it holds up today. Let's go to the game. Boom! Polaris was published by Tigervision and carries a copyright year of 1983. According to the opening screen, it was made by the Electric Boat division of Tigervision, a reference to the original maker of the Polaris submarine, the Electric Boat Company. Polaris was designed by Robert H. O'Neill and is based on the 1980 Taito arcade game. The manual opens with the following. You are the commander of a Polaris-class nuclear submarine. Your mission is to defend your country from enemy attack. War has been declared and you find yourself deep in enemy water with no help. In your battle, you will be required to defend against wave after wave of enemy planes and dive bombers. To make things worse, the enemy has sent their own subs and destroyers. In the course of your battles, you will need to maneuver through dangerous channels full of mines. Don't expect a short war, and the battles get rougher. How many of the enemy can you destroy before they get you? Polaris is an action game for 1 or 2 players alternating and has 1 standard mode of difficulty. The game is separated into 2 alternating sections. In both sections, you move your sub with the joystick and press the button to fire. In the first section, you must avoid or destroy enemy submarines while trying to shoot down enemy bombers. If you take too long shooting down the bombers, a destroyer will show up. Once you clear of all the bombers, a fast-moving dive bomber will show up, dropping heat-seeking torpedoes. In this section, once you fire a missile, you cannot fire another until the first missile either hits something or leaves the screen. Once you destroy the dive bomber, you move on to the next section. The next part is an overhead section where you must navigate through a channel. In this section, pressing up increases your speed and pressing down decreases your speed. Also, you don't have to wait to fire a second shot, but when you do, your first shot will disappear. The first time you go to the channel, the waters will be clear of enemies, but whenever you return to the channel after the first time through, there will be moving mines you'll either need to destroy or avoid. If you lose a life in the channel, you'll be sent back, even if you die inches away from the end. If you complete the channel, you'll go back to the first screen, but as the game goes on, you can face extra challenges, including more bombers, more enemy subs, and faster speeds. Scoring wise, you get anywhere from 100 to 300 points for destroying a typical bomber. You get more points if the bomber is higher up on the screen. You also get 100 to 300 points for destroying an enemy submarine, but this time you get more points the lower the submarine is. If you shoot the enemy destroyer, you will get 800 points, and if you destroy the dive bomber, you get 1,000 points. In the channel, if you destroy a mine, you get 300 points. Graphically speaking, the game looks pretty nice for a 2600 game. The sounds are suitable, and I especially like the submarine ping sound you hear throughout the game, although I could see some people being annoyed by it. Family friendly wise, the game would most likely get an E for everyone rating if it was released today. At the time of my research on eBay, including shipping, the game is somewhat rare. Loose copies were selling for $20 to $45 a piece. So what did I think of Polaris? First, there are several things I like about the game, including the graphics, having 2 screens of action, and the ping sound. However, what I don't like about the game is the thread the needle style of gameplay difficulty. You don't have a large area to move in, and if you touch anything, whether it be the ocean floor or a submarine on the first screen or the shoreline on the second screen, you die. You even die if on the first screen you try to go off screen to the left or right, even though the enemy subs have no problem wrapping around the screen. But perhaps the most frustrating aspect for me is the fact that if you graze the shoreline in the channel, you blow up and are sent back. It really made me want to gravatar my controller when this happened. If I could just pick up right where I died, that would have helped me tolerate the difficulty more. But for me personally, this game, while it was well made and somewhat fun, was also stressful, making it a title I don't plan to revisit often. So where am I going to rank Polaris? Probably lower than most, so I totally understand if you like it a whole lot better than me, as I understand that some 2600 gamers view this game as a hidden gem. So personally, I'm looking really close to Time Pilot at the century mark, and I do think it controls better than Time Pilot, so I will give Polaris the edge. So out of the 160 games I've now ranked on the Atari 2600, Polaris is surfacing at the 100 position. Polaris has some really good qualities, and some of you might really like it, but personally I found it to be be frustrating to play at times. At least that's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please click like and subscribe and follow me both on the Facebook and the Twitter. I'm also a member of the Retro Junkies Network. At this time, I'd like to thank all of my extraordinary Patreon supporters, including Janitor Sean from the Atari 7800 Homebrew Podcast. Thank you, Sean. You too can help support the show, gain access to exclusive content, and be able to vote on future games I review by signing up at patreon.com/NoSwearGamer. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of the No Swear Gamer. Take care and watch out for those mines, and submarines, and bombs, and the soft sand of the shoreline, and the edges of the screen.